Close up now on a star of Stratford. He's Christopher Plummer, actor.
I'm not like my father.
I just do this for laughs.
Christopher Plummer has been charming audiences for more than 65 years.
My little bird twittering out there.
On the stage, he's a titan.
Now my charms are all o'erthrown.
All right, camera reloading.
On the big screen, a legend.
Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
He's always been in demand, but at the age of 80, he began his Oscar renaissance.
I've never stopped loving you.
Of course.
But God knows you don't make it easy.
In 2010, a Best Supporting Actor nomination for The Last Station.
What kind of music's that?
Probably house music.
House music. Okay.
2 years later, at the age of 82, Plummer finally heard those magical words.
And the Oscar goes to Christopher Plummer, Beginners.
You're only 2 years older than me, darling. Where have you been all my life?
Now at 88, he's nominated a third time.
I have no money to spare.
Plummer was surprised to get an urgent call from Ridley Scott, the director of All the Money in the World. Scott asked him to replace Kevin Spacey in the role of J. Paul Getty after sexual misconduct allegations against Spacey led to him being ousted from the Hollywood spotlight. Plummer's scenes were reshot in just 9 days. I sat down with him near his winter home in Florida to talk about the film, his last-minute role, and this year's Academy Awards. So it's a real honor to get to meet you, to get to sit down with you. And I don't even know where to begin, but I think in Variety, just a few weeks ago, the headline was Christopher Plummer, oldest to be nominated for an Academy Award. How does that feel to have the word oldest and Christopher Plummer in the same headline?
I'm crazy about oldest. I wish they'd shut up and not use that anymore. I'm going to prove that I can start all over again. But it is nice to have a kind of every 10 years there's a new career. And to be my age and suddenly getting more scripts and more offers than I did when I was in the last decade. It's extraordinary. And I'm not going to win this time, obviously not. But listen, being nominated is extraordinary. And the funny part of it is I just barely finished the movie. And suddenly I'm nominated for a Golden Globe. I said, wait a minute, guys, I haven't left the set yet.
Well, let's talk about all of that. First of all, getting the call to, I don't know what you want to call it, be a last-minute fill-in, replacement, star. What was it like when you got that phone call? What was said, and how hard was it to convince you to do it?
Ridley, whom I've always wanted to work with, and Ridley never hired me at all for anything, but I was very anxious to work with him. And there he was on the phone saying, I'm coming over. He came all the way over from London.
And did you know what was going on?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes. But I didn't relate it to me at all. It hadn't. And then he brought it up. He said, do you want to do this? And he said, you know, you were one of my first choices for the part. I said, God, that's news to me. Ridley, thank you very much. But I said, I'm going to have to read it. So he said, well, hurry up, because we're dangerously in need of finishing this, otherwise I'll have to shelve the whole bloody thing. So I went home and read it, and 2 days later I was in England shooting.
Was it daunting at all to consider walking into a role like this at the last minute in a movie that had already been shot?
No, I rather, you see, I like risks. I like taking risks. It was kind of wonderful, and I became very fond of Ridley, because he has a wonderful sense of humor. Very sardonic. That helped relax me, indeed. Of course it was scary, but it was also fun, because we laughed all the time, probably out of fear, but we had a wonderful time. I did anyway, I hope he did.
This may seem like a naive question from a non-actor, but when you play the richest man in the world, when you play a multi-billionaire, and you have, that character has the power that he has, do you feel any of that when you're playing the role?
Oh, of course you do. You know, all the arrogant part of me has a ball. And of course, you know, we're all full of different personalities. And I've played so many kings in my life, don't forget, that it's not too difficult to switch down to a powerful billionaire.
Have you ever had an acting experience like that before?
Yes, in the theater it happens more, you know, but not on film. Oh, good God, no. And the cost is so enormous. It cost $10 million to just finish the movie.
And you know, we mentioned cost and the speed with which this happened. One of the big storylines was about how much various actors got paid to reshoot scenes, and the difference between Michelle Williams and Mark Wahlberg. What's your view of that discrepancy?
Well, I can't really comment on that. I have nothing to do with that. And I just think it was sad because Michelle was interested in doing more because she had some ideas of improving it, you know. And so I don't want to, I'm going to stay out of that mess.
You are such a distinguished actor in both theater and movies, and have, I'm sure, so much respect within your industry. And now, as you see this moment in time, though, and you play a role that is so wrapped up into the changes that have happened with Me Too, how do you view all that? Do you feel like you have a responsibility to speak to that issue or to stay away from it? What's your view?
Well, I mean, what am I going to say? I just, other than I think it's great that these women can now come forward and feel that they're supported in order to come forward. I stay away from it, thank you very much. But I do approve of it, the Me Too theme.
The Me Too theme, of course, has really grown in just the last few months. But as you look over the last few decades, before Me Too became a trending hashtag, were changes happening within the industry before, or is it really Me Too that has elevated this issue?
I think it's simply Me Too. I can't remember anything. And this has been going on, of course, since the time began. This has been going on since the Phoenicians. And everybody seems terribly surprised about it.
And by this been going on, harassment and abuse and that sort of thing?
This has been a power play since the world began.
Let's talk a little bit about Oscar night. So you're going there assuming, it sounds like feeling pretty strongly you're not going to win.
Yes.
But you have won. So does that allow you to just savor the night?
Oh God, yes. Yes, you sit down, you can actually see your friends and not worry about, oh God, how am I going to thank? I have a little speech prepared in case.
Yes.
But the awards, as nice as they are not the be-all. I mean, the work is what we're there for.
But for a lot of movie fans, it is the night, right? It is it is the Super Bowl of so many movie fans, and it's filled with glitter, and it's filled with young, powerful, attractive actors who are trying to make their name. You walk in there at this stage in your career, so comfortable, and is there any part of you that kind of sits back and chuckles when you get somebody's trying to get you to go to this party or trying to suddenly, you know, attach themselves to your rising star?
Well, I used to love parties, of course, when I was young. So, and I would have gone to all of these then. I mean, and I would have been the last to leave. And I would have been carried out because I love booze too much. Now, I must say, I don't stay very long.
So what time do you think you're probably going to go to bed Oscar night?
Oh, I'll try and go to bed as early as possible. I might go to bed actually in my seat.
And it was a fantastic role you played. You did a great job, and it's a real privilege to do this interview. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
So if Christopher Plummer is the oldest ever Oscar nominee and winner, what about the youngest? Well, when it comes to nominees, that title goes to Quvenzhané Janae Wallace. She got the nod for Best Actress at the age of 9 for her moving performance in 2012's Beasts of the Southern Wild. And the youngest ever Oscar winner, Tatum O'Neal, she won the Best Supporting Actress award at age 10 for her role in Paper Moon alongside her dad, Ryan O'Neal. That was back in 1971.